Hello, Cancer. Welcome. Thank you for coming back if you're a returning subscriber. If you're new, thank you for coming. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This is a general reading. I hope that you will be able to take something from it. Just take what resonates with you. And it may also apply to somebody that is close to you at this time. So see how that works for you. If you have strong influences in your birth chart associated with another sign, then please feel free to cross-watch to my other videos. I have shuffled and laid out the cards. I use the 12 houses of the zodiac, so as the cards are appearing in each house, then those are the influences that are coming to bear at this time for you. So now, in the first house, we have Aries, I am. The first house is your house of self. It's your self-oriented interests. It's your appearance, it's your vitality, your physical body, and what you project to others. So this is what they will see. It's your personality and your observable characteristics. So it's also what you want to project as well. So if you have a strong ascendant, which is different to your sun sign, then the ascendant will be predominant for quite a large portion of your life. But then after that, the sun sign starts to establish itself. So now with Aries, I am coming in your first house. This is, it's basically time to take action now. It's a strong, fiery card. It's a get things done card. So you need to make your presence felt now, project your ideas, get things going. This is motivation. It's also passion. And it's a very dynamic energy, so you may be feeling that, or you're being asked to project that in whatever it is that you're moving through in your daily life as you're projecting yourself outwards to others. It's also, as I said, your own self-oriented interests, whatever that might be. But ultimately, get things done, get things going. It's fast-moving, it's ambitious, no nonsense. The best way to handle this is steady, measured action. Because then you will achieve more. There's no rush. You mustn't be rushing around and jumping from one thing to another. It's steady, measured action, but nonetheless action, and expect things to be moving quite quickly. It's also about taking leadership. You may be involved in sports in some way, so that can come in for you. But you may just also be asked to jump, to actually literally leap for something that comes to you, or something that you want. As I said, it will be fast moving and quick. This is also very creative energy, so it may be something that you want to do as an interest, or it could be a physical activity that you want to do, but it's really all about yourself, whether it's internal or external. It's a fast moving, quick energy that you're required to either project from a dynamic point of view, or to harness to actually get things done for yourself now. Then in the second house, we have Jupiter Abundance, lovely card. So your second house is your house of money coming in, your income, and whatever money is coming in for you, however it's coming in for you. It's also the house of your self-worth and your value systems, what you own, your possessions, and what you value, really, whether that's a personal thing, related to people, or to just a particular value system, or it could be about the actual value of items in your life. So it's all about that. And so it's your material and your emotional resources come in as well. So now with Jupiter Abundance coming in, it's a lovely card. It brings abundance in. It's exactly what it says. But it can also, abundance can come in many forms. It's not necessarily money. It could be the opportunity to create money, or it could be a gift from someone. There's different ways that it can manifest, but it comes in as luck, opportunities, even strength. If you need strength to get through something, or to actually take steps and take action on something, it can bring strength in for you, fortitude. It can also be divine assistance. So if you're really struggling with something and you just pray for help and it comes to you, then this is entirely possible with Jupiter. It could be good fortune, as I said. It can also bring faith. If you're struggling, as I said, with something, or you're wanting to initiate something, you just feel like you need bolstering, then this will bring the strength and faith in for you. It's the yes card. So if you're waiting for some kind of permission or to give yourself permission to do something, it's the yes card. Doors can open for you. Purpose, your purpose could become clear to you. As I said, a reward or a gift may come in. It's also about you generating joy, feeling joyful, feeling generous, okay? It can bring in expansion in. So expansion in whatever it is that you're trying to do or something that you are wanting to initiate. Blocks could be lifted from your path. But in all cases, you can't just sit back and wait for it to wash over you. You have to make the effort to either harness the opportunities coming to you, to work on them, or to chase the whatever it is that's coming, or whatever comes to you in its whatever form. You actually have to work on it to actually harness the best parts of that and actually bring the benefits towards you. It does require effort. Okay, then in the third house, we have Neptune sacrifice. Your third house is your house of communication. This is all forms of communication. So this is written, verbal, body language. It also covers documents and contracts. It's also your interactions with various family members like cousins, aunts, uncles, siblings, and also neighbors can come in as well. So it covers basically your local environment. It can also cover early education of some sort, learning. So whether that's for you or for your children that you're associated with or whatever. It also can rule short journeys. So this is journeys within your local environment. So with this coming in, there's two sides to this card. So it can bring in the really inspirational thinking. So it's imagination, inspiration, and almost like a divine connection. That is Neptune. Writing, acting, film, the arts, glamour, magic and illusion, all of those things fall under this card. So in any one of those areas, you may either be entering a new field, or you're now going into it in some way, or you're somehow associated with it, or you could just be really enjoying the arts, and really getting out there, poetry, acting, all kinds of activities which require, the sort of reaching for the imagination and the inspiration and inspiring others as well. The other side of this card is also deception, confusion, something not clear, or you don't have all the facts. So just be aware of that when you're communicating with others, that you're not spreading gossip or spreading things that are not perhaps based in truth, or that you may be hearing these things as well. You may be hearing these things about others. It could also be to do with documents and contracts. Be aware that just be careful, go through the documents and contracts very, very carefully. And if you're feeling that you're not 100% sure, perhaps call on help from others who are perhaps clear thinking and can actually check every detail. It also just could be, it could just be that you are undergoing some kind of sacrifice, as it says here, but it could be just an ego sacrifice. So it could be your ego which is being sacrificed for the greater good, or it could just be something that you are sacrificing for the greater good in some way. It could be a family interaction. Perhaps you are having some sort of issue with a family member, with a sibling or an aunt or an uncle or something, and you take a step back in order to let the greater good unfold. Just be aware of victim consciousness as well, because that can come in with this card. Whether it's yours or somebody else's, somebody you're dealing with. It could also be that you're feeling vulnerable, or the other person is feeling vulnerable at this time. So it's sensitivity, huge sensitivity to the divine and all those wonderful, beautiful higher aspects, but also there can be deception and things happening which you're just not sure about, a bit of confusion or uncertainty. So just be aware of that. And if you are in the communication field and you're communicating with others on a broader scale, just check, be careful, be inspirational, be imaginative, and all those wonderful qualities, and harness the very best side of this card. Then in the fourth house, you have Uranus genius. So your fourth house is your house of your home, your actual physical home. And it's also the atmosphere in your home, the people in your home, what's going on in your home, basically. It's also the relationship that you have with your roots, your foundation, your ancestry, your ethnic identity, your everything to do with where you came from, your foundation. So it's your relationship with that and various other aspects attached to that. So with Uranus Genius coming in, you're going to be in for some kind of unexpected change. Uranus is always unexpected. It's a bolt of lightning that comes down. So some kind of upheaval or surprise is going to come to you, whether that's changing your physical home or something in the home, or just some unexpected situation arises for you. It could also be just literally receiving a download of some kind. So this will be like a brilliant idea or some kind of genius intuition. It could even be a wake-up call of some kind, all right? That is Uranus. But it's fast, very quick bolt of lightning, change of direction, but it's also a liberating force. So liberating means that you're being moved from a situation to another, which is going to ultimately be better for you. So it may not seem like that at the time because of the upheaval and the shifting and changing and whatever. So you kind of, the change happens, it's quick, you don't know where you are for a while, you feel very uncomfortable, and then you find your feet and slowly you start to move forward, and then that's where you start to see the result later down the line. It's that kind of energy. You could also be having some kind of technology upgrade in your home. So whether that's just literally upgrading various systems in your home, whether it's a security system or whatever, it could even be electronics, electrical, anything like that. It could be, like I said, an upgrade, or you're being exposed to new technology in some way, which you've now got to master. I mean, you could work from home. There could be facilities that you use at home which are to do with this. You could also have people who are technologically advanced coming into your home for some reason, whether they are friends, family, associates, or coming in to do something for you in your home. When it comes to your actual lifestyle, this energy can bring in a very eccentric or bohemian type of lifestyle. So you may be going through that, or you may be yearning for that, or you may be bringing that in some way into your home life. It could be a complete turnaround in lifestyle as well. So an alternative lifestyle to how you have been living. So that could just be a complete turnaround for you. And it's going to be necessary, because that's what happens with Uranus. It brings in a necessary change, but it's swift and it's an upheaval, make no mistake. It could also be just an unusual form of some unusual lifestyle. You could be exposed to unconventional people who are very different from you. And you're learning and coming to terms with them, or just understanding their way of life or their points of view and so on. Or it could be, as I said, to do with your ancestry and your foundation and your roots. You know, perhaps you're meeting people that from a part of your family which you've never met, and they strike you as being really unconventional, even eccentric. It could be that, or you are coming to terms with that part of your family history. Perhaps there have been people in your family, that have been that way, and you're now slowly understanding what it was like, who they are, and so on. So it could be that as well. Then in the fifth house, we have Leo, I will. So a lovely card coming in for you. Leo, this rules creativity, right? So your fifth house is your house of creativity. It's also your house of children, which is also ruled by Leo. So it's pretty much in its own house. Leo rules the fifth house. So it's very much at home in this house. It's a wonderful, sunny, warm, very, invigorating place for it to be. So your fifth house is your house of creativity. It's the house of your children or children that you're associated with. And it's also the house of love affairs. And it's the house of recreational activities. This is all kinds of activities, whether it's sports or clubs or just you doing some physical activity or a handcraft or something like that. And it's also the house of taking risks, gambling, and so on. So now with this card coming in here, it's either asking you to be this way or it's going to bring this in for you. So it's creativity, originality, having fun. And as I said, children are strongly indicated. So this could be you in relationship to your children, or your children are going through this phase, or perhaps you're wanting to do certain things with them which bring all of that in, or you're being stimulated through their daily life at school that you're now having to expose yourself to that. But it's all about creativity. It's about being original, And there's creativity can take the form of many things. It's not necessarily artistic, okay? But this can also bring in acting, so stage work in some way. It's also about being in the spotlight in some way, so recognition of some kind or reward. But suddenly your talents or your children's talents or the children that you're associated with are being noticed. So it's you're in the spotlight for whatever reason. It's really displaying your unique self, or the children that you're associated with are showing their unique self. So it's all about putting that on display and really standing up and being counted for everything, really putting yourself out there. It's about optimism. It's about being spontaneous. Romance comes in here very strongly as well. So if that's a love affair for you, then it's very strongly indicated. And it could be somebody who is Leo-like or has Leo qualities. Okay. There's going out at night. There's bonfires. There's events. There's nightclubs, activities, sort of enjoyable activities. Gambling comes in. Risk-taking comes in here. But it's spontaneous as well. It's a really lovely, warm, happy energy, center of attention type energy, but it can also be leaning towards activities which are creative associated. So whether that could even be a club that you join, or your particular craft that you're doing, or your children's craft, or it could be, as I said, acting and putting yourself out there in the spotlight in some way. Then in the 6th house, we have a Saturn return age. So now your 6th house is your house of work or work projects, or your mastery of your particular craft, whatever that is that you do. And it's also about health and diet, and also pets. So now with in the 5th house, putting yourself out there, going after your creative project, or really displaying talents. This kind of ties in with that because it's mastery of your craft, whether it's workplace, work related. The 6th house can also cover work colleagues or workplace, but it's essentially mastery of your craft, whatever it is that you do. So with this coming in, what it's going to do, it's a return. So Saturn is all about wisdom, experience, and taking responsibility for yourself. So what this is asking you to do is to take responsibility for your dreams. All right. So if you've been going through, sacrificing yourself or putting your needs on hold for others, or because of various circumstances, that has to change now. So it's time to get serious about living your best life. So put the past behind you, take control of your dreams and your goals. Take responsibility for them and put them into action now, because it really is time. You may have to face a few truths about yourself and about what you're trying to do as well, because this is a realistic card as well. This is a face the truth card. Be realistic, but also take responsibility for yourself and what you want. And it's about building slowly, step by step, towards what it is that you should be doing. And Saturn is all about building and all about solid achievement and working towards that. You learn to work with Saturn, you will achieve it, and you will receive the reward. But it's just the period that you go through can be slow and can be not easy. It won't be easy, but it will be, if you do it slowly and you're methodical about it, it will work for you. So you may also have to let go of what you have outgrown, things that just aren't working for you, or you just feel tired with them now, and they're just not suiting you anymore. They're not actually helping you. So whatever you've outgrown or outlived, you need to let go of that. This card can bring in correction as well. If you've been heading off in one path, it can correct you quite profoundly as well to where you should be. So anything that's shaky in this workhouse, or your health, or your diet, or your pets, anything that's been shaky up until now will simply crumble. It won't work. So like I said, it's about building a solid foundation, and actually building slowly with quality and progress, which will be slow but thorough. Okay, there's no quick fix with this. So if things have crumbled and fallen away and now you don't know what to do, it's about building. So just apply yourself and think about what you want, but take responsibility for your dreams now. this is about seeing what you're made of. Really, this is seeing what you're made of. If you're looking for a time frame, December, Jan comes in with this. When it comes to health and diet, this is all about age, as I said. So you may be feeling your age, or you may be concerned about certain things to do with your age, or just thinking in the future. But really what it does come down to is the hard parts of the body. So this is your teeth, your bones, your skeletal system. You may want to improve your vitamin D and calcium uptake. All of those hard building structures in your body, your tendons, your ligaments, the things that hold you together. Okay, all of those aspects are all falling under Saturn, and they all need attention. So if you've got a niggling tooth issue, or you need to go take a trip to the chiropractor, just ensure that you do it, because it's all indicated with this card. Then in the 7th house, we have Mercury mind. So with the 7th house, this is your house of relationships, your close personal relationships, one-on-one relationships, whether this is a love partnership, a business partnership, or another close personal relationship that you're involved in currently. So Mercury mind coming in, it is exactly what it says. Mercury is the messenger of the gods. So you may be receiving a message or messages in some way, or you may be giving it. But ultimately what this is about is be very careful what you think and what you say at this time. All right. It's about being spontaneous and being flexible. It's about mental stimulation. So if you're in a relationship, that's going to be important for you. But speaking and writing is highly indicated with this card, and you need to be clear about that. Clear and honest about what's going on. Avoid glibness and any kind of argumentative attitudes, because that will not come off well for you with this. It won't be received well by others, all right, because that is a tendency with Mercury. So just, if you're facing a sticky situation, you've got to really talk your way out of something, then focus on humor and wit, and express the truth, really. That's what it's about. You may also be required to be reasonable about what's going on around you as well, if you're in a relationship of some kind. It might be wise to be good friends before you enter into a physical love relationship. So that may come in. Or you may just be somebody coming into your life who is really relationship material, long-term relationship material, because the 7th house is long-term. It's the committed relationship. It's not the love affair anymore. This is the next phase. So this person could be a friend, all right? So because this is what friendship is highly indicated with Mercury. You could be hearing gossip of some kind as well, or don't get involved in gossip. As I said, be very careful what you think and what you say. Deception may come in as well, somewhere along the line, whether you're hearing it from others or you're seeing it in around this relationship, or you may just hear something. Just be very careful. This card is also about perhaps talking too much and not enough listening. You have to do the two together. So you listen and then you respond. Technology may also be coming in for you. So this is a business partnership. You may be required to bring that in some way, or there's clarity for communication, or just be aware that WhatsApp and texting and all these other kinds of communication are all very well, but sometimes what you say can be misconstrued. So just be aware. As I said, be careful how you express yourself, and it must be honest and direct, and there must be no deception or confusion there. Then in the 8th house, we have communication highlighted again. This is the air element communicating. Your 8th house is the house of your deeper sexual commitment in a love partnership. And it's also the deeper sort of emotional and material joining of two people in a relationship, whether it's a love partnership or a business partnership. So it's the merging of all of those things that you bring in with you. It's also the house of handling other people's money, being involved in that in some way, whether that's a profession for you or you're involved in it in somehow. It's also the house of big finance. So this is tax, inheritance, insurance, investments, banking, accounting, legacies, trusts, all of those sorts of things. And those are indicated when you're merging into a partnership, but it could also be a profession for you. So all of those big financial aspects are indicated for this house. This house is the house of sex, death, and rebirth. So you may find something is evolving from an old form to a new form. Something old is dying off and a new thing is coming out of it, something like that. With the air element coming in for this house, really it's about manifestation. So you need to focus on positive thoughts and words to get the best result. Because if you focus on those, your manifestation abilities will bring them to pass. You don't want to manifest negative things. Okay, so focus on that. It's a habit that you have to actually get into. It takes time and effort, but it's worth it in the end. So you're probably going to be required to be logical with certain things in this house as well. Travel may be indicated. Science, technology, writing and documents is indicated with this. You may also need to express what you want in writing in some way. You need to think things through as well. So weigh up your options with regards to whatever it is in this house. Weigh things up and be objective. So take the emotion out of things and be objective about what is required. So that's where the logical thinking comes in. You may be required to have quite an expansive attitude to certain things. So it's expansive thinking, it's broad-minded. So it's really about, I feel, about communicating on a deeper form with a partner, whether it's love or business, and it's all the written and the technology that goes into that, and what needs to actually be done, and the way forward. Some control issues may come up as well, but it's also about, as I said, all forms of communication, which is highly indicated with this. Then in the 9th house, we have void of course moon missing. So the 9th house is a broad house. This is a house to do with all things international. So it's you meeting the world or the world meeting you in some way. So whether that's online, having a business which does that, or mixing with people, or communicating with people from other countries and so on. It's everything foreign as well, anything foreign. So whether that's import, export, or actually talking to people across the other side of the world, whatever it might be. It's also about adventure, exploration, travel. International travel is highly indicated in this house. It's also the house of higher education. So this can be university level education, adult education. It's also the house of teaching, philosophy, religion, all belief systems, public relations work, and publishing, so all the written things. It's also the house of law, the higher courts, and in-laws, if you have in-laws. So it's really it covers a broad spectrum of things, but they all kind of have a thread. It's exposure to other ideas really as well. So now it's gaining of wisdom as well. So now with the void of course moon coming in, what this is asking you to do is to just wait. If you've got something that you new or untried, which you're attempting at this time, just hold off on that for a little bit. Avoid action of that nature at this time. Just wait for the energies to pass and then try again. Because basically what it's saying is that you won't get a good result with whatever it is that you're trying to undertake. So just stay with your normal routine, if possible. Stay with your normal routine and just see how things unfold. If there's any storms going on, let them pass. But it's not a good time to initiate new or untried things at this time. So just wait, rest, gather your resources, because you're not going to get the result you want. You may get a really bad result or no result or an unexpected result. It's something won't go as planned, okay? So you may just find that you're caught unawares about something as well, or you may have missed something in your planning for this, whatever it is that you want to do. So just stay as you are, go over your plans again, dream a bit. So make your plans and dream, but just wait until the energies have passed. Just stick to your current routine for now. And if you're planning a trip overseas or something, you may just need to hold off on that and actually look at it again once the energies have changed. So this is during, a week or so, maybe a little bit longer. Just give yourself time to go over things again and wait for a better opportunity. Then in the 10th house, we have earth element stability. Your 10th house is your house of career, ambition, fame, reputation, and your public status. It's also the house of authority figures, whether this is a family figure or somebody that you're working with or somebody you look up to in some way. Or it could be like a father-like figure, all right? So it's a big house. It really is... it sets the tone for many things. So it's also what you look up to, or somebody that you've looked up to in your life and you like to emulate them. It can be something like that as well. So now with earth element stability coming in, it's asking you to be grounded, to anchor yourself as well, because there may be a few things you've got to weather or you've got to go through. It's about being practical and having wisdom, exercising your wisdom. You may need to take your time with something as well. Follow a methodical approach. Action is needed, however. Action is needed, but it's the way that you go about it that's going to determine the success of it. You must have a master plan, which you're following, all right? Avoid being entrenched with stubborn views or old-fashioned views which don't serve you now. Don't be afraid to try new things or let go of old, outworn ways. Things are moving very quickly in the world now, and you don't have to abandon everything. You don't have to abandon all your wisdom and your practicality, but don't be afraid to try certain things, new things, to push yourself forward. This card is indicated for real estate, land, anything to do with the land, property, that sort of thing. And it's also to do with living close to the earth. So whether you buy a patch of land and you're now going farming, or you're doing organic farming or hydroponic farming, or you are wanting to have a place where you can go periodically to get close to nature and live a more wholesome life. It's about that as well. So living close to the earth, even just gardening comes in under this. So having that balance will balance if you've got a heavy career and you need to balance that with other things, then going into nature or be doing earthly activities. When I say earthly, I mean getting your fingers in the soil or going hiking, something like that will help to balance the energies at this time. But it's also you may also be making very good connections at this time in whatever you're doing, and those need to be nurtured. The earth element does nurture, so nurture those good contacts that you're making, because they may come in very handy later on. Then in the 11th house we have Gemini, I think. So we have another communication card coming in here. So the 11th house is your house of friendships. It's also networking and groups that you're a member of, all kinds of groups, whether it's your a book club or a sports club or some kind of club, associations, societies, anything where you're with others in some kind of form, It could just be networking, as I said, but it's also your personal hopes and wishes, your dreams, your own hobbies and interests. That also comes in under this house. It's also the house of trends. Trends in society and whatever field, but it's also group or global consciousness and social reform may come in, if that is something that you're interested in. All falls in under this house. So with Gemini, I think coming in, communication is highly indicated again. So you may be hearing messages or hearing things or gossip, or you may be involved in that somehow, or you're being talked about as well. That can also come in. Words and writing are very, very important with this. So whether you're using that in your group setting, or it's part of your profession or your career, or it's a hobby or an interest, it's all highly indicated here. You may just find, just be careful that, again, not too much talk. You've got to balance that with listening as well. You may be coming into contact with stimulating people in a group setting as well, or stimulating contacts. Exchange of ideas. So this is in a group setting or a network setting, or it could even be a friendship, as I said. Humor and wit is always going to go down well, in a situation. Be aware of being fickle in any way, or it could be that you're seeing this in a friendship or some kind of group where there's fickle behavior going on. That can come in as well. Technology is also indicated with this card, so this could be something that you're getting involved with, or you're being asked to use it, either in a group setting or for the furthering of your hobbies and your interests. And it's also about paying attention. So whether this is to what's going on in a group setting or in your friendships, whatever, but pay attention. Then in the 12th house, we have Black Moon Lilith Mystery. Your 12th house is your house of your unconscious beliefs, drives, and motivations. It's also the house of spirituality and mysticism, healing, and solitude, reflection, times of retreat as well. It's also the house of escapism and addictions of all kinds. And it's also the house of your experiences in institutions of all kinds. So whether this is a library or a university or a hospital or a banking institution or a prison, there's lots of different ways that this can come in, but it's your experiences there. Okay. So now with Black Moon Lilith Mystery coming in, if this is to do with, you may just be seeing this in your environment amongst your other people, or it's something that's lurking in your unconscious self. But it could be that you need to have a little bit of control or find a healthy outlet for deep emotions which are kind of festering there a little bit. And this is anger or bitterness or bitchiness. You may be experiencing that from someone, or you may be feeling that inside, or feelings of revenge and being slighted, being slighted by somebody. So find a healthy outlet for that. Don't let those things fester under the surface, because they can cause a lot of trouble. It's also about standing strong in your feminine power, whether you're a masculine or a feminine. Your feminine power, we all have both. So it's almost like the witch's wand of power. It's that deep, dark feminine power almost, but there's control there, and there's a lot of power, but it's how that control is exercised. So standing strong in that power. You may feel a bit rebellious about certain things as well, or somebody that is close to you is feeling that right now. It could also be that something is not clear for you. There are undercurrents going on, or you could be waiting for something to happen as well. This card can also bring in an affair of some kind, whether it's you or somebody else, and seduction comes in on this, or stalking even. So it's there's a sort of darker side to this card, but it's really really about acknowledging those emotions, seeing it and having it under control, but also having a healthy outlet in order to exercise those emotions, so that it doesn't hold you back. Really, that's what you want. Okay. I really hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please don't forget to like and share with your friends, or subscribe if you haven't already. And I really hope you have a great month, and I will see you next time. Take care.